So since I did Raiko yesterday, because she was on rate up on NA, I actually don't even remember if she actually was on rate up yesterday. My bad. But you know, on vacation, can't really do anything about that. What I can do about is someone I know for a fact is going to be on rate up after his buff. Wayne. His MP buff is good. It is probably what he needed. He definitely needed the MP buff because an MP buff that was just skill seal and burn was, and the overcharges burn was like, not really. I'm not about that. It's a little better now, not by that much, but we all know that his battery is the one that needs work now. It's a 20. It's not a lot of stars. I think he might even need like stars earned on his third skill, like really like 30% battery, star bomb on the front, and then stars return, and then I think he's really good, or not really good, but like he's a lot better than he used to be. Farm, he'll be able to be in a boss fight because you don't need skill seal when you're farming. It's fine. I've always been like iffy about Gawain's artwork here, like because he just looks bulkier. Like, is it just me, or like in game he looks a lot bulkier than he's supposed to be? Like if you've watched Fate Extra Record, he's a lot slimmer than what like the sprite would tell you. Like, I don't know. And it's not what Arco's fault. It's probably just like how the game sprites were designed. Like he might have like a minor, similar to Ushi problem, how she looked a lot shorter and childish than she actually was supposed to be. Gawain kind of just looks a little bulkier. Base attack above 10k for a 4-star is very, very strong. Do not ever let anyone tell you any different. If you're a 4-star and your attack is this high, you are in a very, very good spot. Is it gonna compare to 5 stars that are like above 11.5k, like even if you level them up? No, but it's like he's honestly not that far off. Like if you bring him to 90, he's going to be like lower than most 5 stars, but he's still gonna actually be competing with some 5 stars. Like if you're below 11,500, chances are you're probably like your attack isn't that far off Gawain. HP is much lower to compensate. Oh yeah, I didn't even talk about the travesty like on his third skill, like how that needs to fix too. So they're not gonna front load the stars, but they at least need to fix that battery and guns, at least. Okay, first skill, 20% attack. This is guaranteed. Oh right, I got way ahead of myself. Backed up here. Star weight, star gen, normal saber numbers. MP charge 1.14%. You would think that's good, and then you go to hit counts and you see 2 hits on the arts and quick. It does not matter how high this number is if your only cards for refund are 2 hits. Yes, your extra attack is going to be very nice, but that's assuming you go for an extra attack. More likely than not, it's going to be MP buster, so you're not refunding anything. It's something that you're gonna run into issues a lot with Gawain. You're gonna have to front load his you're gonna have to force the MP. Like having servants that give him batteries are pretty much a requirement. He's not regenning it on his own. It's just these numbers aren't good enough. He doesn't gen enough stars besides bitch, and bitch is not gonna help him with star weight on arts and quick unless he is like you're double popping it in one turn. So minor hit count update. If they can make this 3, it will be significantly better for his game. Like I know, like, even if you have to adjust, like bring this down just a little bit, like he's a buster unit. I would rather have more balanced hit counts than super spiky for an extra attack that you're probably not using that often. Let's be real about it. All right, first skill, guaranteed 20% attack for 3 turns for himself. In addition, if you are on the sunlight battlefield, you get 30% Buster for 3 turns. They are never going to buff this skill. Straight up. Vargas, maybe. And that's mostly because she cannot bring the sun herself. He can bring the sun with the buff. So they're never going to buff this. When they buff this skill, which was a dog shit E charisma, the same that Salter and Lolter have. Disgusting. Out of the 3 units in the game that had it, 2 of them been buffed. And unfortunately, Salter just got buffed, so good luck seeing a charisma buff anytime this year. But at least they have given her a buff. We'll talk about her later. But yeah, her charisma is definitely getting buffed. It's probably just not this year, maybe next year or the year after, because her buff is disgusting. We'll talk about that later. But they buffed it. Chat, I need you to remember this. He only grants the sunlight field for 1 turn. 1 turn. The new command code that's coming from Summer 8 is going to give crit damage on a sunlight field. He is not the best person to put this on because he does not have high uptime on the sunlight. Ozzy has almost 100% uptime on his sunlight field. It makes more sense to use it on him. Makes way more sense. Gawain, you need to have the right card and you need to pop it on the right skill. Otherwise, it's like you're waiting for 5 turns to get 30% crit damage once. I mean, or you could just be on a sunlight battlefield and you just get free crit damage. But that assumes you know where exactly you're fighting. Sorry. So like during lotto kind of works, but you might not be face carding that much in a lottery. All right, so these skills, a lot of damage. It really helps that he has a buffed MP because this is 40% attack and 30% cluster up. That is a lot. That is a lot for a stats thing. A lot. His third skill though, 20% battery flat, 10 stars, 1 time, 1 turn guts. This is so fucking bad. It's not even funny. First of all, the stars are nowhere near as many as you need. And with his MP's buff, he needs more stars. He needs to be able to make more stars for himself. If they want to keep this 10 here, that's fine. Give him 10 per turn as well and fix the guts and fix the battery. You have to, because this is atrocious. Like, there are almost there's never going to be a time you're actually going to be like popping both of these to get both their effects. Almost no time. A 1-time 1-turn guts is one of the most useless things. Now Vlad has one, but he also gives himself another guts. There's a reason for him to have 2 guts there. He's a berserker, number 1. Number 2, it is a safety measure. So, oh, if I get killed, don't worry, I'll come back. And then I have another guts on top of it. This is, I'm about to die, but I also need battery and maybe some stars too. Let me pop this. Come back with 2k. Oh, I died right after. It is actually debatable whether or not he needed the MP buff more or less than this skill. A lot of people would say he actually needed this more. I'm kind of the agreement because if the E actually could do double Vitch, he would be double stacking 60% Buster and 80% attack on his own kit. And considering Vitch and Oberon do not give attack buffs, that's a lot of damage for him to get multiplied. That's a lot of damage. But I mean, MP buff helps a lot. I can no longer say go for extra attack on servants that are clearly designed for boss encounters. Why? Because they're literally making every single AoE have a 30% battery at least. I'm not against that, but you gotta give us more coins if you're gonna force everyone to go mana loading. Like, and I know it's not forcing because you can change your CE, but like, come on, like their meta setups. Like Tucson knows what double bitch is, like obviously does. Like you're balancing the game around having mana loading unlocked. We see this. Why are you making it so like mana loading is literally the only option now? But yeah, if you only have MP1 Gawain, is gonna be a pain, but you're gonna want mana loading. If you literally have MP2, you're good to get mana loading because they're probably gonna buff his battery and give it 30%. More likely than not. Third skill, I mean, not third skill, MP. So like I said before, it was a AoE skill seal and a burn. That was it. Is it much better? Absolutely. But there's a pretty big problem with this. Okay, so what the buff is 50% buster crit damage up on a sunlight battlefield for 3 turns. Increases star weight of buster card by 300% on sunlight battlefield for 3 turns. Do you guys remember how long he actually can force the sunlight? If you time this extremely poorly, you just have buffed MP damage. Like, sorry, not sorry. He actually, a little cherry on top if they buff this is give him another sunlight thing. This one that actually lasts for 3 turns. Because you are not, unless you know you're on a sunlight field, this is going to be very hard to ramp up, especially like in comparison to Canis, who, granted, I believe they need water side. Hang on. Canis Rider. Or Canis. No, their crit damage is on overcharge, but they need the water side for the attack buff and this stuff. Yeah. But see, the difference between Gawain and Canis is a summer servant. That actually makes so much sense for them to need water side. 90% of them need water side. Gawain, again, it makes sense for sunlight. But come on, if you're a summer servant, most of the time you're going to be used is during a summer event, thus you're by water. Gawain, like, if you're not on sunlight, if you can't force it, you probably shouldn't be bringing Gawain. Because, like, you should not be relying on this one skill for this. Like, outside of, like, double Vitch, sure, it's a little different. I admit it is different. You can pop this twice and then not worry about it for the 3rd wave. It's just a little frustrating for me. Like, you're not able to actually ramp this up in comparison to other servants with a similar kit. It's a lot harder to actually take advantage of this. Y'all know me, I love Zenobia. I love using Zenobia, and her crit damage is free. So I actually would have wanted them to swap the burn, like swap these two. Like, the burn is static and these ramp up with overcharge. I know that's a little crazy, and that also means that you have an overcharge that literally does nothing. So if you were constantly getting overcharged 500, like 5,000, you literally got your Gawain nerfed. But I mean, burns don't really matter that much. They don't. We don't have a Kafka for FGO that can literally proc dot damage by herself as well as amp it. So that'd be pretty cool, though. Like, honestly, that would be fucking amazing. Bond CE, 15% buster up while he is on the field. Is this a servant you should actively sub for, even with the buff? Fuck no. Like, this is good, but this, like, I would take Vargas like any day over this. Like, he has a crit focus kit, like I would still take Vargas. I would 100% take Vargas over him. Cause like his skill, it's damage, and like weak survivability slash utility. While Vargas is damage, healing, gauge, damage cut, and then she gets cooldown reduction on her MP. Yeah, no, if you're summoning on an Oberon banner, I get it. I'm summoning for it on my ult account. But this is not yet. He needs a fantastic third skill buff. He's just like, this is a mess. Like, he can't regen for himself. Vargas can. Her hit counts are fantastic, and she's supposed to be by herself so she can force the mighty chain. Gawain can't do that. I don't like shitting on servants, but Gawain still is not in a good place. It is nice he can guarantee the 50%. It's nice he can guarantee the star weight for one turn, but that's not something you want on a ramp up effect. You don't want your ramp up effect to be conditional, and for to force the condition to only be one turn. In general, though, like, sunlight isn't the most uncommon battlefield, so it's not really going to matter most of the time. It's just like, for the cases that Gawain would be a very good option, sunlight, worrying about sunlight field, whether it's there or not, is a much bigger issue for him. And now they're playing even more heavy into it. All right, that's it for me. Hopefully Summer 8 is actually live, because when I woke up this morning, it's still more maintenance. Anyway, happy birthday to me. I'm 27. I will see you guys later today for Summer Castoria, because that is the servant I'm choosing to review today. Peace. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.